Southwest is proudly presented by AT&T Uverse TV.
The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are Southwest.
For a team hungry for good news, the Texas Rangers received exactly that today with the activation of Ian Kinsler. Skipper Ron Washington immediately placed the All-Star back in his usual leadoff spot as the Rangers host the Blue Jays on Fox Sports Southwest. It is a warm and muggy afternoon here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. A late spring day and sees the Rangers making one step back toward full strength as they welcome back Ian Kinsler and they take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And welcome in everyone, along with Tom Green, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us on this Saturday afternoon for Ranger baseball. And indeed, the Rangers are grateful to have Ian Kinsler back in the lineup, the first of many to come back here in the very near future.
Yeah, and the more the merrier, Buzz.
Yeah.
Right now, the offense has been struggling, and probably the number one guy to get back is Ian Kinsler because he's the catalyst. He's the guy that starts everything off. He's got the power to hit a home run early in a game to put you on the board. He was off to one of his best starts. It was a shame that he got hurt. Driving the ball to right field like he hasn't done before, and the Rangers are really happy to get him back. Hopefully he'll ignite the offense.
Yeah, after a month, almost a month of treading water without Kinsler, they don't have to do that anymore. They can get back to work, and that lineup sure looks a lot better with Ian at the top of it. So we will give you Game 3 of this four-game weekend set. R.A. Dickey and the Blue Jays taking on the Texas Rangers on Fox Sports Southwest. Come join the Red, White, and U celebration. Enjoy great savings on America's best-selling brand. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. And by Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. Cloudy skies overhead. Rangers hope that they brighten things up here this afternoon. Snap a 4-game losing streak. And before we get underway, let's say hello to Jim Knott. Jim?
I appreciate it, Buzz. There he is, Ian Kinsler taking second base. And, you know, it's been a while, but we've seen Ian back. He's back at it. And I talked to him before the game, and I asked him the question, how difficult was it watching the Rangers play while on the DL?
Frustrating anytime you're out, whether they're playing good or playing bad. You want to be in there and you want to contribute. That's what you work hard for, and that's what you want to do. And when the team's struggling and there's frustration, you obviously want to be there and do whatever you can to help. So, you know, it's always tough to sit around and watch.
So Ian Kinsler with the Geico quote of the day, and these Ranger fans are happy to see Ian back, and hopefully Ian will spark a Rangers winning streak. Buzz?
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Yeah, they will face a Blue Jays team that is turning things around. They have won 3 in a row, and Josh Lindblom will face this lineup that John Gibbons throws out there this afternoon. Milky Cabrera leads off. He's in left field. Jose Bautista in right. Edwin Encarnacion is the DH. Batting cleanup playing first base, Adam Lind. Colby Rasmus in center. Meiser Izturis is at third. Hitting 7th today and catching is Josh Tooley. And the second baseman, Emilio Bonifacio, bats 8th, with Munenori Kawasaki, the shortstop, batting 9th.
And the Budweiser scouting report for Josh Lindblom. He's 0-1 in 2 starts this year. His last start was a good solid start. 6 innings, 3 runs against the Cleveland Indians. Right-hand hitters are only 2 for 15 against him. At Round Rock, he was one of the best pitchers, maybe the best starting pitcher in the Pacific Coast League. He was 6-0. He had a 2.04 ERA. All his other pitching numbers were near the top. And so he's earned the opportunity to come up here and start. He's been a reliever most of his career, and now he's getting an opportunity to start.
And last time out, I think that Josh Lindblom took a pretty big start to that starting assignment, in that he gave up 3 early, but really settled down, pitched well after that. Milky Cabrera takes the first pitch for a strike. It is 0-1. Basically the same lineup for John Gibbons all 3 days. The only difference today is Josh Tolley catching instead of J.P. Arancibia. Fly ball, pretty well hit right field. Cruz is going back. He is at the wall, reaches up, and pulls it off the padding.
Well, Cabrera hit it pretty good. It looked like a breaking ball, slider down and in. And it needed about another 2 or 3 feet. Fortunately, it didn't have that extra 2 or 3 feet. Now he was able to pull it down right at the wall.
Echo will bring you the Rangers defense this afternoon. You saw Cruz in right field. Martin in center, Murphy in left. McGinnis at first, Kinsler and Andrews up the middle. Nice to see that combo again. Adrian Beltre at third, A.J. Przinsky catching, and he receives a strike to Jose Bautista. Bautista at 261. There is Ian. Nice to see him back in the lineup. That one's flared over his head into right center field. That'll drop for a base hit. So Bautista mired in a little bit of a slump, able to get that 1-out single here in the first inning. It'll bring up Edwin Encarnacion. Umpiring crew tonight, or this afternoon, I should say. Paul Schreiber calling the balls and strikes. Chad Fairchild at first. The crew chief, Jeff Kellogg, is at second, and Eric Cooper over at third. So 1 on, 1 out. Here is Encarnacion, who's hitting 270. Lindblom's first pitch, and a big breaking ball is in for strike 1. Encarnacion last night, a pair of doubles. Scored 2 runs in that 8-0 whitewashing that the Blue Jays hung on the Rangers. Lindblom with the 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Jays come in 9.5 games off the pace in the American League East. They are trailing Boston 30-36 are the Toronto Blue Jays. They have won 3 straight and 7 of 10. John Gibbons has seen his ball club play decidedly better here in the month of June.
The Rangers are getting Ian Kinsler back. Soon, the Blue Jays will be getting Jose Reyes back. He's same kind of guy for the Blue Jays that Ian is for the Rangers. Reyes plays with a lot of enthusiasm, top of the order guy. They've missed him.
1-1 pitch. Rip and a miss. Yeah, Reyes is out since the second week of the season, early in the second week of the season.
Yeah, he was off to a great start. Reyes was hitting close to 400 in 38 at bats.
And as you mentioned, you know, the leadoff guy and really the spark plug for this offense. And this offense, face it, with the retooling, they expected great things from the Blue Jays. And not just swinging the bats, but they expected him pitching-wise too. Just hadn't worked out, specifically in the month of May. 1-2, the count to Encarnacion. Good pitch in on his fist, and Encarnacion stays alive. It's still a ball and 2 strikes. Josh Lindblom celebrating his 26th birthday here this afternoon. Trying to give himself a real nice birthday present. Complete game shutout would be good. Got him swinging. Well, he pulled the string on that, and Lindblom with his first strikeout. That's out number 2 with Adam Lind coming up.
We saw this in his start against the Indians. His curveball really complements the slider. Pitch before it was a slider that he had a huge swing at. And I'm sure he thought this was going to be more of a slider than a curveball that broke straight down. A little bit slower, a little bit bigger of a break. And it really fooled him.
Got kind of a kick out of Lindblom the other day, Tom, when you and I were talking to him about that slow curveball. I said, you know what? I throw that thing as hard as I can, and it just doesn't come out of my hand very fast. I said, I'm not trying to throw it 70 miles an hour. I said, that's all I've got with it. Oh, well, you know, whatever you have to get it done.
Yeah, based on the way he pitched the last start, it's pretty effective that way.
Sure is.
Change of speed between that and his slider, I think, is very effective.
0-1 the count to Lind. And he popped him up. That's going to be near the seats. Over to take a look at Brzezinski. It's 5 rows back. And it goes to 0-2. Yeah, he said, you know, the changeup still is problematic for him from time to time. But Josh said he'll use that curveball as his changeup. Use the same kind of spot that he would use a changeup. Said it kind of gives me that advantage to have something that's not only a big differential speed-wise, but it's got a wrinkle to it. Bautista at first. He had a 1-out single. 1 out later, he is there. 0-2 the count to Adam Lind. Hit hard, but pulled foul down the first base side. And we'll try it again. Lind, as you saw, .339, and this season against the Rangers continuing to pummel Texas pitching. .381. A home run, 5 driven in. Lind has had some of his biggest career days against the Rangers. 8 RBI game against him. Snap throw to first. Ranger infield, you can see he pulled around a step or 2 to the right. Ian Kinsler has stepped on the outfield grass at second. And Bautista drawing the attention of Josh Lindblom. There's a good shot from behind home plate of the Ranger defense. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the first inning. Lindblom ready. And his next pitch on the way. Just missed inside. What a good cut fastball or 4-seam fastball that he got in there and made it stay there. Just missed the inside corner. That's a pretty good 0-2 pitch. Now the right-hander is ready. And the 1-2 on the way. Curveball hit hard down the right field line. It is going to be trouble. It's off the foul pole. A home run for Lind. Adam Lind got a hanging curveball, hit it off the foul pole in right, and the Blue Jays take a 2-0 lead.
Unlike the curveball that Encarnacion missed, this one stayed up. You hoped it stayed in enough to where Lind would pull it foul. He almost did, but he was able to keep it foul. Keep it fair off the foul pole. Just never got it down where he wanted to. unlike the one he struck out Encarnacion with.
So Toronto an early lead, and they have used the home run in this series to get that way. Here's the first pitch to Colby Rasmus, and he is thrown out by Lindblom. That'll do it in the first, but the Blue Jays strike on Adam Lynn's 7th home run of the year. Bottom of the first coming up. 2-0 Blue Jays on Fox Sports Southwest. A play, the Blue Jays jump on top with Lynn's 2-run home run. And the Texas Rangers starting lineup today is delivered by First Financial Bank. Ian Kinsler back in the lineup. He leads off. Elvis Andrus is next in Lansford. Adrian Beltre, the third baseman, bats cleanup. A.J. Brzezinski is a catcher. Nelson Cruz in right. David Murphy is in left field. Chris McGinnis plays first and bats eighth. And Leonis Martin bats ninth and plays center field.
R.A. Dickey on the mound for the Blue Jays. A scouting report. Get a nice ovation for Ian Kinsler as he leads off the game for the Rangers. R.A. Dickey is 5-8 on the season. His ERA is 5.11. 6 or more earned runs in 3 of his last 4 starts. Won the Cy Young Award last year for the Mets. First knuckleball pitcher to win a Cy Young Award.
And the pitch to Ian inside for ball 1.
He's had a number of games this year where the knuckleball must not have been knuckling. He's had 4 or 5 games where he's given up 6 runs or more.
Kinsler, ground ball to deep short, and Kawasaki has it. That is out number 1, and Elvis Andrus will come up. Well, folks, in today's game, we're participating once again in the Home Run Challenge, and today, every home run in this game raises $12,500 for prostate cancer research. And you can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. One up, one gone. And Elvis Andrus steps in. Elvis hitting at .251. No home runs, 22 RBI. Elvis back in his customary number 2 slot takes a strike from the 38-year-old right-hander R.A. Dickey. Dickey working quickly. Slow knuckleball, and that is chop foul. 0-2 to Elvis. Elvis with going on 270 to 300 at bats without a home run. And a 2-hopper this time out to short. Kawasaki charges. Elvis retired. There are 2 away, and we'll take a look at the Blue Jay defense that supports R.A. Dickey. Cabrera, Rasmus, and Bautista left, center, and right. Lind at first. Bonifacio, Kawasaki up the middle. Historis at third. Josh Tolley handling R.A. Dickey, and they were a tandem last year with the New York Mets when R.A. Dickey won the National League Cy Young Award. Here's Lance Berkman as a .271 hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. Lance, 5 home runs, 31 driven in. Just a handful of at-bats against Dickey. Swinging a foul tip evens the count.
Well, one thing you can see right off the bat, Buzz, is he's only thrown 7 pitches, but the variety of speeds that he's throwing his knuckleball. Some in the low 70s, some in the low 80s. That was one of the hallmarks of Charlie Huff's knuckleball's ability to change speeds, although I don't know that Charlie could throw one quite as hard as R8 throws one.
That might have been Charlie's best heater when he reached back for a little extra.
Yeah.
2-1 pitch, or as Charlie called it, his high riser. Lance, that 5-game hitting streak on 6 for 18. Trying to increase that here today, and Dickey misses for ball 4. Lance Berkman on aboard at first base with the 2-out walk. It'll bring up Adrian Beltre. Dickey, the former first-round draft pick of the Texas Rangers back in 1996 at the University of Tennessee. Threw in a total of 72 ball games for the Rangers over the course of about 6 years. And Beltre takes a strike to the outside corner.
Yeah, R.A. signed for something like $750,000 back then. Then he had his physical, and everyone found out he didn't have an ulnar collateral ligament. And so he ended up signing for $75,000. Took a little bit of hit. I always figured if you don't have that ligament, that's something that can't get hurt.
Yeah.
You should be worth more.
I think Dr. Andrews or Dr. Job might be mad at you, but that's not going to create any business for the Tommy John surgery. 0-2 to Adrian. Pop foul. That will reach the seats behind home plate. Adrian going down to one knee on that slow knuckleball at 64 miles an hour.
Well, you've seen the slow one at 64, and kind of an average one in the mid 70s. Seen his fastball at around 80 and a knuckleball in the upper 70s, low 80s.
Berkman at first, a modest lead in the 0-2 pitch. Foul tip, and we'll try it again.
That was a good knuckleball. That ball really dropped.
What kind of luck did you have hitting this knuckleball? Don't you face Wilberwood?
Yeah,
like that?
about average.
Yeah.
No, I felt comfortable facing one. Sometimes you got to hit, sometimes you didn't.
Another foul ball. Did you pick out the first one that stayed up to hit?
I tried. Yeah, I tried to, for sure.
You know, the prevailing thought about how to hit a knuckleball, that's what I hear most often. Just see one up, you know, chest level or something like that, and go ahead and flail at it.
Problem is sometimes it looks like it's up, and then right at the end it dances down low.
Yeah, Beltre gone. That's the harder variety of knuckleball. Dickey gets a strikeout after giving up a walk. The Rangers strand one. We're going to the second at Arlington. Blue Jays 2, Rangers nothing. Fox Sports Southwest. Rangers ballpark, an early start because of national TV, which is later on this evening. Meiser Estruas is leading things off, and he takes the first pitch a little bit low from Josh Lindblom. Estruas, a .221 hitter. He has started all 3 games now at third base in this series against the Rangers. Lofts one in the air to left field. Murphy, playing toward the line and relatively shallow, has to retreat, but Murphy there and makes the catch for out number 1. Josh Towie coming up. And let's go say hello to Jim Knox once again. Jim.
All right, Buzz, appreciate it. Great group of Ranger fans on hand this afternoon. We're with the Rangers on the community corner. Today we're talking about Ron Washington, a busy manager before the game. You know, Ron donates a lot of his time to the RBI program to help coaches out. He dished out a number of coaching tips this afternoon. To find out more about the RBI program, log on to TexasRangers.com/foundation. Buzz?
All right, Jim, thank you. Josh Towie, the left-handed hitting catcher, took strike 1 from Lindblom. Josh back to the plate. Gets the inside corner. That hard slider makes it 0-2. Towie just a $125 so far, and called up when the Rangers were in Toronto last week. Swings on the 0-2 and pops it up. Ian Kinsler at 15 feet into shallow right field. Now comes in a couple of steps, and that is out number 2. So Kins with his first opportunity to have a fielding chance since being activated. 2 outs, bases empty. Emilio Bonifacio, the hitter. Bonifacio, the number 8 hitter in the order for the Blue Jays, and seems like he's always creating problems for the Rangers, or has in this series anyway. Takes a strike here. He's 2 for 4 with a run scored last night. Got on an error in the 8th inning and scored the go-ahead run of the first game. A rip and a miss. Had 2 runs scored in that game with a stolen base. Pesky little guy at the bottom of the order. 5 for 20 in the 5 games against the Rangers. 0-2 pitch.
Bonifacio a couple of years ago hit close to 300 with a lot of at-bats, played every day, stole 40 bases. Only hitting .215 now. I think they'd love to have him lead off with his speed if he could get on base more often.
Kinsler, a step into the outfield grass, handles that, puts it away. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and the Blue Jays are gone. After 1.5, 2-0 Toronto. Are you playing in a baseball or softball league this summer? Let us know. We kind of an early summer question. We'd like to find out how many folks are and are thinking about it. Hashtag FS yes ball if you are, and the obvious hashtag FS no ball if you're not. Go on to Twitter and pick your answer. We'll give you the results later on in the ballgame. A.J. Pierzynski leading off the Rangers' second inning. Toronto on top 2-0. A.J. hitting at .295 as Dickey comes back to him. And in the dirt, the ball gets away a little bit from Josh Tovey. 2-0 now the count.
Yeah, see if he throws a fastball here. Doesn't want to walk the leadoff hitter.
Now Pierzynski, a drive to right field. Bautista back in the corner and makes a running catch. I think AJ must have gotten that down toward the trademark a little bit, or toward the end of the bat. Didn't come off.
Didn't jump.
Didn't come off real well, but a good running catch by Bautista. Well, folks, a quick reminder to play Lotto Texas with Extra for your chance to win Texas-sized jackpots. It's Texas' original jackpot game, and it's available at your favorite lottery retailer.
That's one of the things that a hitter can look for when you're ahead in the count from RA is a fastball. It looked like that was a fastball that he threw Pierzynski. Depending on the circumstances and the situation, you're apt to see one. That 2-0 count leading off an inning might be one of those counts.
1 ball and 1 strike to Nelly Cruz, who steps in hitting at .262. Towering pop-up down the left field line. Kawasaki, the shortstop, into foul territory. He runs the security guard off and makes the catch for out number 2. Kawasaki having to go a long way for that. The wind drifting in from right field, pushing that ball toward the stands. He was able to stay with it. So 2 gone. Here is David Murphy.
Caught that ball and posed for anyone that might want to take his picture. He's got a good personality.
Yeah.
You can tell watching him play. He plays with a lot of enthusiasm. Acknowledges the umpires with a little bow before every game when he goes out there. And he's got energy even when he's not playing. When Reyes comes back, he'll go back to more of a utility role. He stays involved in the game whether he's playing or not.
It's 3 balls, no strikes now to Murphy.
There's another spot to look for a fastball.
That's his got one. 80-mile-an-hour sinker, we'll call it. 3-1 to Murphy. 2 outs, bases empty. Rangers down 2-0 here in the second inning.
Charlie Huff used to say when he threw his fastball, he felt like he had to throw it for a strike. You risk giving the hitter a good pitch to hit, but you're throwing it in a count where you have to throw a strike.
Right.
And it seemed like, looking back, he threw his fastball for a strike most of the time. Sometimes he'd throw that little slider too, that he could throw for a strike, just to give the hitter a different look.
Murphy spoils the payoff pitch, and we'll try it again at 3-2. Murph struggling at the plate, down to just 208. And he chops one foul the other way.
We're talking about getting some offensive players back. It's great to have Ian back. Be nice to get Mitch Moreland back. And then the other thing you want to see is the guys that are in the lineup now start to get hot themselves.
Yeah.
David is a prime example. I'm used to seeing David get off to a bad start in April, but by now he's usually getting hot. So it's a little bit behind, but there's plenty of time to go. And a hot David Murphy, either hitting second at the top of the order or sometimes 6th or 7th, would certainly help the offense.
And a line drive to center, but Rasmus coming on, able to stalk that one and make the catch. Well, the Rangers gone in order in the second inning. Move to inning number 3. Blue Jays 2, Rangers nothing. Fox Sports Southwest. 13 MLB All-Star Game. It's going to be in New York this year, and the Rangers need your help to put Elvis back in first place in the voting for shortstop. Go to TexasRangers.com. You can cast up to 25 ballots online and learn how to cast an extra 10. Fans that vote up to 25 times will receive 50% off a ticket offer. Both that man in. 1-0 pitch is coming, and the pitch is high. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Munenori Kawasaki. Kawasaki hitting just .218, but as we talked about last night a little bit, Rangers having a devil of a time throwing strikes to him, getting behind, and Lindblom continuing that trend here with a 2-0 count. And there is a strike, 2-1. Kawasaki had a walk, a sacrifice in last night's game. Went 1 for 2 with a triple in the 9th inning. Ground ball to Kinsler. He in on to first. That is out number 1. Time for a Mazda game break. Here's Dana Larson. Dana. All right, Dana, thank you. Boy, Manny Machado is really drawing some rave reviews. He's starting to get noticed by everybody around baseball.
Yeah, he deserves to be noticed.
Yeah. Top of the order now, Melky Cabrera, who flied to deep right field his first time. Takes the first pitch out of the strike zone. It's 1-0. Lindblom back to him, fires a strike to even the count. Cabrera now 0 for his last 7 trips to the plate. The Rangers have maybe found some way to pitch. I mean, he's really tearing things up when we saw him 10 days ago in Toronto. See, he's hit safely in 27 out of his last 37 games. And that evens the count now, 2-2. Lindblom about ready to throw his 33rd pitch of the afternoon. That's pulled foul past the Ranger dugout. And the count remains even at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Couple of birthdays for today. Chuck Pollard from Granbury is 85. Clydia Askew from Bedford is also 85 today.
A little bit low, 3 balls, 2 strikes now to Cabrera. He's hitting in the leadoff spot. He gets aboard. Jose Bautista will hit with runners on. Payoff pitch from Lindblom. Hard hit ball, but flagged down nicely by Chris McGinnis. Underhands to Lindblom, and Cabrera is retired for out number 2. Some pretty fancy glove work down there by Chris McGinnis.
Very nice play by Chris. Good concentration. Looks the ball right into the glove. Knows he's got plenty of time and makes the good flip to Josh covering first base. Good play. We got 4 belated birthday wishes for today. Bobby Smith from Runaway Bay is 81. Wilda Chastain from Monroe, Louisiana, 87. Ray Lancaster from Wichita Falls is 86. And Inez Rhodes Birch from Texas City is 83. So happy birthday to all our birthday people today.
And Josh Lindblom. Oh, you can't announce him.
Josh Lindblom. Yeah, he's not old enough.
He's not,
I can't
he's not 80.
him. You already mentioned him.
Yeah.
I can't say it, though. He's not 80.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, if I ever announce a player who's 80, boy, we got a pretty good story.
Well, we had a shot with Moyer until he retired.
I'll take a coach that's 80.
Yeah. 1-0 pitch to Bautista, and that breaking ball curls right over the top of his helmet. It is 2-0. Bautista singled to center his first time. Lindblom to the wind, the 2-0 pitch. Came in as something other than a fastball. Good slider to make it 2-1. Bautista struggling away from Rogers Center. as far as average goes, but he's hit more home runs away than he has in Canada. Ahead in the count here, 3 balls and a strike. Lindblom back to the plate. Rip and a miss. Hanging up there, and Bautista's eyes lit up. He swung right through it. So the count goes full. Now the payoff pitch on the way. Down the left field line, hooking, and that'll go out of play. Back about 10 or so rows over there to take a look, David Murphy. And it's a souvenir for some of the fans here on this muggy afternoon in mid-June. Lindblom again with the 3-2 pitch. Didn't mean to do it. A check swing foul. We'll try it one more time. No, Bautista's able to get aboard to extend the inning. Edwin Encarnacion, the designated hitter, is waiting in the on-deck circle. 2-0 Toronto. Blue Jays have the only 2 hits of the game. 2-run Adam Lynn home run in the first inning. The difference in the score today. A little nubber. Hughes right back to Lindblom. He's able to throw out Bautista. And that'll do it. So 3 up, 3 down. He's retired 7 straight as Josh Lindblom. Bottom of the third, Rangers down by 2. Brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Come join the red, white, and blue celebration. Enjoy great savings on America's best-selling brand. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Jack in the Box. Now's your chance to go big with Jack's Big Stack Burger. Bottom of the third inning. Rangers down by a pair. R.A. Dickey has allowed just 1 base runner. That was on a walk in the first inning. And Chris McGinnis starting things off. Looks at a dancing knuckleball in for strike 1. McGinnis hitting at 182. 1 RBI, and that came against the Blue Jays in Toronto. First major league hit, an RBI double. 1-1 pitch from Dickey. Hit in the air to right field. That'll send Bautista back. Still going back as the ball really carried. And Bautista a couple of steps onto the warning track to make the catch for out number 1. Leonis Martin coming up. And let's go to Jim Knox again. Jim.
All right, Buzz, special group here at the ballpark today from San Antonio. They came in on the Fox Sports Fan Express. That's right, along with the Fox Sports Fan Express Southwest Girls, Kami and Liddy. They rode the bus all the way from San Antonio here to Dallas. having a good time, Bob, from ESPN Radio 1250, The Zone. How was that ride?
The ride was great. We had a great time. The girls were wonderful. Everybody was well behaved. We had a great trip up.
All right, the girls didn't cause any problems?
No, they did not.
All right, good. Way to keep them in line. Good to have the fine folks in San Antonio in the house. Enjoy the bus ride back, and let's root on those Rangers in Spurs, okay? There we go. All right, Buzz.
Thanks, Noxie. Well, Leonis Martin up there, ripping a miss. It's 0-2. Martin hitting .252. Got his first start last night in left field against Mark Burley. Leonis, 3 home runs, 10 driven in. 0-2 pitch from Dickey. To the left side is Esturris, and they'll have no play as he rolled over a couple of times and couldn't get up.
Didn't look like it was that kind of a play where he'd have to make that kind of a roll. I thought he might just have tripped.
Yeah, you can't do anything but give him a base hit on that.
Played that one into a hit. Looks like right here it's not going to be that big of a problem. But all of a sudden it turned into a problem.
Well, the first Rangers safety of the afternoon, an infield hit for Leonis Martin, and a little good fortune. And maybe the first good thing has happened to the Rangers in several games. Takes him back to the top of the order for Ian Kinsler. Kinsler, a ground ball to short. And Dickey, who has a very quick move, drives Martin back with a throw. Ian, as you saw, out since the 17th of May, virtually a month. Takes that floater on the outside corner for strike one. Go back prior to the injury, Ian had really been swinging the bat well at home, which is no surprise. That's historically a great place for Kinsler to hit. .400 his batting average in the last 8 ball games here at home. R.A. Dickey working on Leonis Martin at first base. 0-1 the count as the right-hander sets. Kinsler, a chopper foul outside third, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Ian, in his rehab assignment, DH'd on Thursday night, and then last night with AA Frisco, played second base, went 0 for 8 in the 2 games. Mixed in a walk, and so the numbers weren't really what he was looking at, or Ron Washington said the same thing. So we were making sure he was healthy. He came through with flying colors physically, and that was the big thing. Skipper said if he's ready physically, we need him back in there. Ian back in. Leonis Martin establishing the lead at first as Dickey okays the sign and sets. Kinsler spoiling some pretty good knuckleballs.
And from behind, when you look into R.A.'s glove, you can tell when he's going to throw a knuckleball, which is most of the time. He throws it with his first 2 fingers. And you can kind of see that in his glove. This looks like a changeup.
Sure what it looked like when
A circle change.
Yep.
Glad we saw that grip. Wouldn't have had the slightest idea what that pitch was. Would have probably thought it was a slow knuckleball. You see the last 3 fingers on the ball.
And he has to go in there with a normal grip without a knuckleball grip when he's going to throw to first, too. Line drive, just foul down the left field line. Kinsler pulling the trigger just a shade too early.
You mentioned R.A. is 5-8 with a 5.11 ERA. At the same point in time last year, he was 11-1 with an ERA of 2 on his way to a Cy Young Award. In the last 3 years, he's had ERAs of 280, 320, and 270. So he's much higher than that right now. Not exactly what the Blue Jays were looking for.
And Kinsler, another bid down the left field line. That hooks and goes foul off the side wall. Well, about 2 more shots down there, and Ian's going to get one fair.
Dickey's been victimized to a certain degree by the home run ball. He's given up 14 home runs this year. His last start against the White Sox, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 10 hits and 7 runs. 3 out of his last 4 starts have been starts where he's given up at least 6 runs.
Another 0-2 pitch, and that's the harder knuckleball in the dirt. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Ian having a good at bat. This is going to be pitch number 9 this at bat. Kinsler fouling off several tough knuckleballs behind him, then hooked a couple foul. There goes Martin from first. The throw not in time. Leonis Martin able to swipe second base despite a good throw from Jock Toley.
Another thing, when you talk about knuckleball pitchers, Charlie Huff had a really nice move to first base. He figured, as tough as the knuckleball was to catch, that a base runner would have a great opportunity to steal a base against him, unless he could have a good pickoff move, which might counteract that a little bit. So he did have a good pickoff move.
Kinsler skies to left center field. Rasmus over into the alley. Makes the catch. A bluff move from second to third by Leonis Martin, and he will hang on as Rasmus throws a strike down to third base. So 2 away, Elvis Andrus is coming up.
A closer look at the slide on the stolen base. See that it was a fairly close play, but that Leonis was definitely safe.
Bonifacio took that away. That should have been a caught stealing. Bonifacio caught the ball 4 feet out in front of the bag when it was right on the money, and then tried to take his hand back with the tag. He let that ball come to the bag.
Yeah.
Get you back there and slap the tag down. A little inside move by R.A. Dickey. Now you see some middle infielders do that on throws down to second. It's a lot easier to let the ball travel to the bag and make the catch and slap the tag right there. Knuckleball dances in to Elvis Andrus. It is 0-1. Dickey a check of second. Martin a pretty good lead out there. And that pitch down and in. 1-1. Elvis a ground ball to his counterpart, Kawasaki, back in the first inning. Leonis Martin, an infield single, a stolen base. And with 2 outs, he is at second. Kawasaki gobbles that up, triggers the throw across, and that'll do it. Well, the Rangers strand Leonis Martin after the base hit and stolen base. We're going to the 4th, 2-0 Toronto. until, about August 13th. And you can enter to win free Rangers tickets and a VIP Rangers experience. Visit otbfanzone.com for more details. Josh Lindblom back to the hill, and he will face the middle of the order here in the top of the fourth inning. Toronto leading 2-0. Encarnacion. It's a fly ball to left center field. That ball not carrying quite as well.
He must not hit that very good.
And Leonis Martin handles it. That is out number one. And let's go to say hello to Jim Knox.
All right, Buzz, real quick. Big day tomorrow. Of course, it's Father's Day, and a lot of fathers will spend their day here at the ballpark. And the first 25,000 fans, 14 years of age and older, receive this nice Texas Rangers cap. And look who we have here. You got Dr. Robert Wyatt here out of Forest Park Medical Center, one of the best ear, nose, and throat doctors in his house. And you got Connor, his son, and he just gave him the hat to Dr. Wyatt. Good to have you out here, Doctor. Having a good time so far?
Having a great time.
All right, Connor, good to see you, buddy. There you go. First 14 years of age and over tomorrow, 25,000 fans and up. Get a free, nice Ranger hat, Buzz.
All right, Jim, thank you. Think Nazi knows that, Doctor? Personally? Adam Lind laces one to left center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. So Lind is 2 for 2, having hit a 2-run home run his first time up. Now a line drive the other way to left center. And he is aboard for Colby Rasmus.
He's in a good streak right now. If he hits it, it's going to find a hole. He's hitting the ball well. Last night he slapped a couple of ground balls to left field. One of them drove in a run. So if he's putting it in play, he's finding a hole. Today the home run, it was fair by about 8 inches or so, hit the foul pole.
Colby Rasmus takes a strike at the knees on the outside corner. Rasmus hit a tapper right back to Lindblom his first time up. Left-handed hitting center fielder up there as Lindblom sets. 1-1. Rasmus last night hit his 11th home run of the year. That was the 3-run blast in the 4th inning. Got the Blue Jays off and running against Justin Grimm. Now the 1-1 pitch coming. 1-2 on the foul ball. Rasmus in the center fielder category, second in home runs and RBI. 11 and 33. And Lindblom will drive Adam Lind back with a toss. Blue Jays have won 4 of the first 5 from the Rangers this year. That's after the Rangers dominated the Blue Jays last year. That pitch is low. It's 2-2. Josh okays the sign, a check of first. And outside, like a straight changeup. The count has gone full, so with 1 out, we'll see if Adam Lind is on the move. Rasmus at the plate. Mysara Sturas, the switch-hitting third baseman, is waiting to be next. Lindblom, a check of Lind at first. He's going. The pitch is hammered to right field. Cruz is going back. That ball's gone. Colby Rasmus' second home run in as many games against the Rangers. And the Blue Jays, with a pair of 2-run home runs, lead 4-0.
Rasmus got an off-speed pitch, but he got it on the good part of the bat. Take a look at it. Looked like another changeup. This one about belt high, right near the middle of the plate. And the off-speed part of that pitch definitely did not fool Rasmus.
So both home runs today on off-speed pitches that stayed up. And Lind and Rasmus taking them deep to right field. Sturas and Mysara takes ball 2 low and inside. Sturas a fly ball to left. in the second inning. Lindblom back to him and fires a strike. So the Blue Jays now with 82 home runs this year. A pair of them today, and that ties the Rangers for second in the American League behind Baltimore. Check swing, and the pitch low and in. It's 3-1. And you couple the home run ball with the Rangers having not scored in the last 19 innings. That's not a real good combination. Esturas to straightaway center field. Going back is Leonis Martin, and to his left makes the catch. 2 away. Josh Thole coming up. Thole popped out to second base back in the second inning. We mentioned Thole last year with the Mets, the teammate of R.A. Dickey. Big slow hook, and that drops in. Lindblom's next pitch. Didn't really want to do it until he couldn't check his swing. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Sun trying to peek its way out from behind a few of the high clouds. A few shadows starting to evidence themselves. 0-2 pitch way inside, and it did not hit him. Paul Schreiber was looking to see if he got a reaction from Thole, and Thole didn't say anything, so Schreiber said, well, must not have hit him.
Came pretty close to hitting him. He must have jumped right over it, jumped back from it. Uncomfortable way to land right on your knees like that, but probably more comfortable in getting hit in the ankle with that pitch.
And a tapper by the mound off the glove of Lindblom on to first with a shovel. Ian Kinsler gets it done. Well, Thole out by half a step. The Blue Jays come up with 2 more runs on Colby Rasmus. 2-run home run. Bottom of the 4th, 4-0 Toronto. Right here on Fox Sports Southwest for Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. The Rangers need a better experience than what they've had so far in today's game, or this series for that matter. They trail 4-0 as they come to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Berkman, Beltre, and Pierzynski to face R.A. Dickey. Berkman, the only walk that has been issued by Dickey today. And the right-hander goes to the wind. First pitch is ball one. Dickey's next offering. Popped up, shallow left field. Cabrera coming on. Plenty of time to get there. And that is out number one. Adrian Beltre, the next hitter.
And that was a fastball by R.A. Dickey. When you don't throw many fastballs, you can get away with an 80-mile-an-hour fastball, which is about what he throws now. The hitter pretty much assumes that it's going to be a knuckleball almost every time, and occasionally he'll sneak a fastball in there. Probably not a bad idea early in the count when the hitter just really isn't ready for it. Get ahead with it.
So you probably need to pick your spots a little bit.
Yeah, definitely pick your spots. You don't want the hitter to be looking for it when it comes in there.
Beltre chops it foul at home plate. It's 0-2. Adrian struck out his first time up there. And that is the only strikeout registered by R.A. Dickey today. Dickey making his second ever start in this ballpark as a visitor. Beltre able to take that 0-2 pitch and pound it through the hole on the left side for a one-out single. The second hit of the afternoon for the Rangers. 1 on, 1 out. A.J. Pierzynski coming up.
There's a well-hit ball by Adrian. Rangers need a bunch of those. Big inning, get back in this game.
Yep.
The way the Rangers have been scoring, 4 runs. Looks like a lot of runs to come back from. But in this ballpark with the guys the Rangers got, just have to have some good at-bats.
Somebody turn on the ignition to this engine. Pitch outside to Pierzynski. It's 1 ball, no strikes. They're saying R.A. Dickey making his second start ever in this ballpark as a visitor. His only other one was back in 2008. Remember the Seattle Mariners. What a good outing in that ball game. A little check swing roller foul. 1-1. 2008, Dickey worked 7 2/3 innings. Allowed 2 runs on 6 hits. Has a 4-0 lead to work with here today after 3+ innings. Out of play to the left. It's a ball and 2 strikes to A.J. Pierzynski out on a long fly ball to right. Jose Bautista was able to track down on the warning track. Beltre not being held on at first, and there's a looper to right field that's going to fall for a base hit. Beltre to second. Bautista gets the ball back in. So for the first time this afternoon, the Rangers have 2 runners aboard at the same time. 1 out here, and Nelly Cruz coming up.
In the game in Toronto that the Rangers won, they were behind early in the game 4-0. And they came back and won that game. Got a couple of guys coming up that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. In which case they would be right back in this game.
Well, first and second, and the first pitch to Cruz is swung on and chopped foul off the screen in front of the Blue Jays dugout. 0-1. Cruz had a foul pop-up to the shortstop Kawasaki back in the second inning. 2 on, 1 out. 1-1 the count. Last time the Rangers scored a run came on Nelson Cruz solo home run in the second inning of the Thursday night game here. No rip and a miss. It's 1-2 now to Cruz. That seems like eons ago. Well, it was, to be quite honest. 19 1/3 innings ago. Dickey, a check of the runners. The 1-2 pitch. Down the right field line. Toward the line, Bautista. The wind pushing it into foul territory. And up against the wall, he makes the catch. Beltre tags at second, moves to third. It's a foul fly, and boy, Bautista ran out of room in a hurry down there. Did a very good job of staying with it.
It's one of those plays he has time to get there, slow down, and that's nice concentration to be able to make that play right up against the wall. Very nice play.
Well, it's now runners at the corners and 2 outs. David Murphy, who lined to center field in the second inning, comes to bat. Rangers could use a big 2-out hit from Murphy. High and away, ball 1. Dickey from the stretch. Way inside. No, a nice stop by Josh Tolley. Tolley caught R.A. Dickey last year, so he's very familiar with the nuances of trying to catch the knuckleball.
Well, the catcher will use a little bit bigger glove. It's almost like a giant first baseman's mitt, not your traditional catcher's mitt. That helps a little bit.
Ball 3 sails outside. Well, Murphy, the advantage in the count, 3-0. If he's able to get aboard, then Chris McGinnis will have a shot at Dickey here in the 4th. Fastball for a strike. It's 3-1. He's probably look fastball here, couldn't you?
Yeah, he doesn't want to walk you to put the tying run at the plate.
That's outside. Looks like he missed with the fastball,
Yeah,
and
he was trying to.
Murphy is aboard to load the bases. Second walk of the afternoon for Dickey. And Chris McGinnis, the rookie first baseman, coming up with a chance to do some damage.
Chris just missed a home run his first time up. He hit it a little bit off the end of the bat and carried all the way to the warning track right near the wall in right field.
You've got Beltre at third, Pierzynski at second, and Murphy at first. Rangers trailing 4-0. McGinnis trying to change all of that. And he looks at strike 1 from R.A. Dickey. McGinnis with the average at 174. Dickey back to the plate. Ripped and a miss, and it's 0-2.
There's the hard knuckleball, 79 miles an hour. Pitch before it looked like a curveball. You remember, he was a traditional pitcher for a long time, so it's not like he doesn't have an assortment of pitches besides a knuckleball.
Got him swinging. A little harder knuckleball, and that'll do it. The Rangers leave him loaded on a couple of hits and a walk. We're going to the 5th inning. The Blue Jays 4, Rangers nothing. Fox Sports Southwest. Business solution for hosting clients or employees, and Suites can turn a game with family and friends into a special occasion. For your group of 10 to 200 to watch a Rangers game in style, visit TexasRangers.com/suites, or you can call Rangers. A good day to have a suite out here. You can go inside for a little air-conditioned cold beverage and back out to enjoy the ambiance of the ballpark in Arlington. Joining us as we go to the top of the 5th inning, once again, Mark McLemore, co-host of Rangers Live pre- and post-game shows. Mac, thanks for joining us. Since we last talked on Thursday, not much has changed.
No, not much at all.
It's still kind of an offensive downturn. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, they still haven't been able to find their strokes, and it's just kind of strange when you have the whole team go into that funk. Normally, you'll have 2 or 3 guys, and it'll change throughout the course of the season. You'll have the top of the order, the middle, the end. But right now it's kind of 1 through 9, and that's just strange for this team.
The hot shot knocked down by Kinsler. He recovers and throws out Bonifacio. One gone, and Kawasaki coming up. Well, how big a deal is it to get Kinsler back in the order from the standpoint of putting guys back into their customary spots in the lineup?
Oh, I think it's huge. Everybody goes back into their familiar role. They're not trying to do too much. They know what that role is, and they're comfortable in those roles because that's what they're used to. That's what they've been doing all year long, and in some instances, for years. So everybody's going back to doing what they're supposed to do, what they're capable of doing, what they know that they can do. So they're just very comfortable in those spots. Especially at the top. You start moving Elvis around, who's still a young player, but for most of his young career, he's either been hitting second or he's been hitting 7th, 8th, or 9th.
Right.
So now all of a sudden he's put into that leadoff role, and he's got his role changes. Now he's supposed to be the catalyst, the spark plug, the guy that gets on base and starts this offense going. And so that's a little bit of a change. So it can play with a guy's mind.
Yeah, and even though Elvis had hit leadoff last year, the year before, on occasion, with Kinsler out, knowing you have to be the leadoff guy, the spark plug, that changes your whole approach, doesn't it? Or it can. It
can, absolutely. And not everybody's meant to be a leadoff hitter. Just because you hit second doesn't mean you can lead off. And just because you can lead off doesn't mean you can hit second. So you have to find that right personality to hit in those certain spots. Just like, in the bullpen, just because you can be a setup guy, an 8th inning guy, doesn't mean you can close.
Right.
And it's the same thing in the batting order.
Kawasaki 0 for 1 as he grounded out to Kinsler his first time. 2-2 pitch up the middle. That's into center field, a base hit. A very pesky little hitter, Munenori Kawasaki. A 1-out single. He is aboard the top of the order coming up now. Melky Cabrera will be the hitter. 5th hit of the afternoon for the Blue Jays. Cabrera out last time on a real nice play by Chris McGinnis at first. 0 for 2 for Cabrera. Rangers have found a little something now to get him. He's 0 for his last 8 in this series. Kawasaki with very good speed at first, and he has a pretty good lead over there. Lindblom, the high set, checks Kawasaki. And misses low. 1 ball, no strikes to Cabrera. Cabrera, the switch hitter, up there from the left side. Really good offensive player. You remember he was leading the National League last year in hitting for the Giants before he was suspended. Toss to first.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason why he was hitting so well.
Could be. Could be.
Having a little extra help.
One ball, no strikes. Lindblom back to the plate. And it's throw it outside, 2-0. You got to make sure here, if you're Josh Lindblom, you don't focus on Kawasaki so much that you don't make good pitches to Cabrera, because Cabrera is the kind of guy that you make mistakes and he's going to take you out of the ballpark or at least up an alley somewhere. There's a good fastball right at the knees on the outside corner. Ross Wolf, the right hand, starting to loosen the Ranger bullpen.
Cabrera had a year in 2011 where he had 18 home runs, 44 doubles, knocked in 87 runs, and hit .305. That's by far the best year he ever had, and probably coincided right along the time that the performance-enhancing drugs came out.
Out of the glove to Elvis on to first. Oh, there's a classic. Welcome back, Ian Kinsler. Outstanding defense up the middle. We've missed that for the last month. No runs a hit, nobody left halfway through the ball game. Toronto 4, Texas nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Tuesday, he'll be at the Fort Worth location on Hewlin Bend Road. Don't miss a chance to win great prizes and to meet one of your Texas Rangers at Whataburger. Now, outstanding defense put up by the middle of the Ranger infield. Kinsler and Andrews turning over what has become a very familiar type of double play. And we go to the 5th inning. Here is Leonis Martin. Mark McLemore joining us.
Did you ever try to bunt a knuckleball, Mac?
I squared around. It wasn't a serious thought.
Like that?
That's why.
I think R.A. Dickey might have just left a little message with Leonis Martin, like, don't bunt.
Or I'll hit you with my knuckleball.
Exactly, yeah. I'll hit you in the chest with a knuckleball and you go down to first base. Threw him a blazer in there at 80 miles an hour for strike one. 2-1 the count. Leonis Martin, an infield single, his first time up. And he's going to be 2 for 2. He pounds that one to the right side. Got a fastball that said thank you very much. First time the Rangers have had their leadoff man aboard. And before Ian Kinsler comes up, we'll take a Mazda game break. Here again is Dana Larson. All right, Dana, thank you. A 1-on, nobody out. Ian Kinsler to the plate for the 3rd time this afternoon. He is 0 for 2 with a ground ball to short and a fly ball to center. And Dickey misses low and away for ball 1. Rangers trying to get something going. It has been 20 innings now since they have put a run up on the scoreboard. First time they've had Ian Kinsler back in the lineup since May 17th. See if after the leadoff single by Leonis Martin can get a few runs here. Kinsler very patient on the first two. He had no reason to swing at either one of them. It's 2-0. One for 6 with runners on base today for the Rangers. Kinsler hooks one again. That's the third time now he's been just out in front of a Dickey knuckleball. Pulled that one foul down the line. I don't know if you can read. If you're lip readers, you probably know what Ian said. It looked like he was saying something like, stay back a little bit. Not quite so quick.
That's what he wants. And, you know, it's tough, especially when you're facing a knuckleball guy that you don't normally see. I mean, I think he's the only one in the American League right now. Yeah. So you don't get to see this, and you can't simulate it. It doesn't matter who you have out there throwing on the mound. You cannot simulate a knuckleball. So it's hard.
Dickey with a 2-1 pitch, and it stays up and in. 3 balls and a strike. So Kinsler trying to get aboard to join Leonis Martin. Will be followed by Elvis Andrus. Bottom of the 5th inning, Rangers trailing by 4, but they're making some noise here for the first time in the ball game. Martin with a good lead, the 3-1 pitch inside, ball 4, and there are 2 aboard for Elvis. Well, the 3rd walk issued this afternoon by R.A. Dickey. Now Elvis coming up. Would this be a situation? I know you're trailing by 4 in the middle of the ball game, but still, you need to get a run on the board, don't you, this inning?
I've got to try it. If I'm Elvis, I've got to try for bunt for a base hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd bunt for a base hit. I wouldn't sacrifice. I wouldn't sacrifice an out right here, though.
Not giving him up automatically.
No. As hard as it's been to score, 1 run is nice, but you need a lot of runs. I think you got to play for a big inning. The third baseman's back a little bit, though, so you could bunt for a base hit right here for sure.
I mean, it's hard enough to hit a knuckleball. It's even harder to bunt one. But in this situation, you see the third baseman's back. I got to go for it.
0-1 the count to Elvis. He tried to and bunted it foul.
The same thing.
Yeah. No, 0-2.
It's not easy, but you've got to try and make something happen.
Leonis Martin at second. He singled to start the inning. He was pushed along by Ian Kinsler's walk and Ron Washington. And okay, guys, there you go. There's a start. Now let's carry through. Outside, 1-2. And people sitting there watching the game either at the ballpark or at home or somewhere and saying, why doesn't Washington push the right buttons? What's wrong with him?
Pretty hard when no one's hitting.
Yeah. That's out of play.
Oh, he's been pushing the button.
Yeah.
He's been pushing the hit button. It's just hadn't been being answered.
Short circuit in there somewhere.
Yeah, you can only try so much. You can shift the lineup around a little bit. Wash has done that. But ultimately, the hitters have to go out and get the job done. Not much a manager can do about that.
Dickey, a look at second base. Got him swinging. With the bottom falling out of that knuckleball. That is strikeout number 3. And 1 out. Lance Berkman coming up.
Toley does a nice job of catching it, too. Some of them don't knuckle very much, and they look like they're fairly easy to catch, but he has no problems with the ones that do. I've heard catchers say the one thing you can't do is reach out for it. You have to wait back for that last little dip that it might take and let the ball come to you. Looks pretty comfortable back there.
Lance Berkman 0 for 1, walked in the first, fly to left in the 4th inning. 1 out, runners at first and second. Ground ball to first. Lynn thought about second base and thought better of it. Underhands to Dickey. That is out number 2. On to third goes Martin. To second is Kinsler. And now Adrian Beltre will come up. Reminder to get ready, fans, for Fox Sports 1. It's America's newest 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you want, and shows and specials that only Fox can bring you. America's new sports network is Fox Sports 1, coming August the 17th. Well, here's Beltre, who singled to left his last time up. Adrian 1 for 2. And Dickey gets one on the outside corner. Adrian didn't think so. Kind of a questioning look back at Paul Schreiber. Umpiring with the knuckleballer on the mound can't be the easiest thing in the world. Waiting till the last second to make every call, and probably not easy to hit, to catch, or to call.
It's definitely not easy to throw either. Otherwise, there'd be a lot more guys trying it.
All right. Dickey heaves a big sigh. The right-hander sets. 0-2 pitch. We'll try it again. Adrian now a 4-game hitting streak going after that single his last time. Swung on and just foul tipped out of the glove of Josh Tolley. Adrian barely got a piece of that. Dickey comes set. Again, the 0-2 pitch on the way. Sky to right field, playable for Jose Bautista. Underneath it, makes the catch, and the Rangers strand a pair of runners. No runs, a hit, and a walk. 2 left. Mac, thanks for joining us. We will see you after the game on Rangers Live.
All right.
4-0 Toronto. You'll save 50% in select seating areas for most Tuesday home games. Take advantage of the great deal this coming Tuesday. That's June the 18th. Rangers are taking on the Oakland A's. Get your tickets today at texasrangers.com/specials and use the coupon code Ozarka. A's coming in Monday through Thursday, a big 4-game series, and Rangers hope to have the offense back in some semblance of high gear, at least a higher gear. It's stuck in neutral right about now. Jose Bautista to start things off against Josh Lindblom. Bautista, Encarnacion, and Lind. Big breaking ball, and that dips in at 66 miles an hour. It is 0-1. Bautista, a single and a ground ball out. 1 for 2 today. Fly ball, left field, Murphy. Toward the corner, has room to make the grab, and that is out number 1. Let's go to Jim Knox again, Jim.
All right, Buzz, look who we have here. It's Scotty McCreery, recording artist. He also won the American Idol on Fox on the 10th season, here enjoying the game. You're playing at Six Flags tonight, is that right, Scotty?
Yeah, man, it's going to be a good time.
All right, now, you played baseball in high school. You were a pitcher? What kind of pitcher were you?
I wasn't a fastball pitcher. I was more your finesse guy, but it worked. My senior year, I had like a .88 ERA. Not just humble brag.
Wow, okay, so if I had to give you a choice, singing on American Idol or recording artist or major league pitcher like you, Darvish type major league pitcher, what would you go for?
Oh, my goodness, man. I guess it'd be nice to be that good. I wasn't that good, anywhere close to it. But I'd still do the music. You know, that's my passion. Baseball is like a hobby for me, you know.
Oh, there we go. All right, you're enjoying this game today, and then we'll see you tonight at Six Flags. Appreciate it.
Oh, yes, sir. Thanks for coming out.
All right, there you go, Buzz.
All right, Knoxie, you should have asked me if you want to be a broadcaster.
He's got the voice for it.
He does. He does. Adrian Beltre across the diamond. Encarnacion is out. There are 2 quick outs here in the 6th. And Adam Lynn coming up.
I watched American Idol that year that he won. And when it first started out, I don't think anyone even considered that he was one of the candidates to win that. At a very low voice. And as it kept going on, he got better and better. And when it was all over and done with, he was the winner.
No, 2 out, bases empty. Adam Lind, perfect day, 2 for 2 so far. 2-run home run in the 1st and a single and a run scored in the 4th inning. Lindblom has given up just 5 hits through the first 5 2/3, but 4 runs. There's a strike. Pair of 2-run home runs have done the damage. Now Lynn now a .347 hitter. And 7 home runs, 21 RBI. That's out of play to the left, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes.
The Blue Jays have had 5 hits. They've had 2 innings where they had a single and a home run. 2 breaking balls that one was a changeup, one was a curveball. They both stayed up. Lind and Rasmus hit home runs.
That's out of play to the left. Yeah, it's one of those days, and Robbie Ross getting ready in the bullpen for the Rangers. Every mistake you make doesn't have to be hit out of the ballpark, but those are about the only 2 mistakes that Lindblom has really made in the strike zone. And they both got hit out of the ballpark. Another foul to the left. But it's kind of typifies the way things are going for the Rangers right now. Offense spinning its wheels, and pitching doing okay, but not quite good enough.
No, you just have the feeling that the pitcher has to pretty much go out right now and throw a shutout to have a chance to win. And when the Rangers are rolling and they're scoring runs, there's a lot of games where a pitcher will pitch 6, 7, maybe 7 2/3, give up 7 or 8 hits, 3 or 4 runs, win the game 7-3, 6-4. We'll talk about him after the game. Pitched a nice solid game. And now if you pitch 6 or 7 innings, you give up 3 or 4 runs, and the Rangers aren't scoring anything, it doesn't look quite as solid anymore, because you haven't come close to giving your team a chance to win, really, the way the Rangers are scoring right now. Although you may be pitching the same kind of a game you always pitch.
Backdoor breaking ball. See you later. Got him window shopping. Adam Lynn gone. The Blue Jays are gone in order in the 6th inning. 3 up and 3 down. 5.5 in the books. Blue Jays 4, Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Inning brought to you by Sonic. Today's jackpot is worth $1,100 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Today, the Rangers are hitting for Floyd McCurdy of Dallas. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam during the inning, Floyd McCurdy of Dallas will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. The Rangers could use a slam or two in this inning. Trailing 4-0. A.J. Pierzynski, Nelson Cruz, and David Murphy. The first three to do the swinging against R.A. Dickey. Knuckleball in the inside corner for strike one. Pierzynski, 1 for 2. Flied to deep right field. And last time up, he singled to right field. Going the other way with that pitch, and it's out of play to the left. And the count is 0-2. AJ now hitting at .298. Dickey back to the plate. Tapper right back to the mound. Dickey an overhand toss to Lind, and AJ is retired, one away for Nelson Cruz. R.A. Dickey now has retired the last 4 that he has faced since he gave up the hit and the walk to start off the 5th inning. Nelly Cruz walking to the plate has fouled out twice today. Once to the shortstop down the left field line, and once to the right fielder Bautista. A rip and a foul ball. Dickey's next offering. High and inside. 1-1 to Cruz. Just off the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Now with the 16 home runs, 44 driven in. You'll remember that he has really put it to Toronto. He has beaten them alive. 14 home runs in his career. 2-2 now the count. 32 games now against the Blue Jays since the start of the 2010 season. Cruz has hit .313. Got him on the fist and a pop-up, shallow center field. Coming on, Rasmus going out Kawasaki. It falls for a base hit.
That looked like that strange ball that Bonifacio made a great play on when Craig Gentry didn't tag up. He thought the ball fell in back in Toronto. One of those in-between balls. Infield was in on that play. Rasmus wasn't able to get to it. Kawasaki gives it an all-out great try. One of those in-between balls. Yep. Neither one of them could get to it. Generally, it's an easier play for the center fielder coming in than it is for the infielder going back.
Well, 5th hit of the afternoon for the Rangers. And here's David Murphy, who takes strike 1.
Problem on those plays for the outfielder who has to call the infielder off is you're not sure you're going to be able to get to it, so you don't really feel like saying I've got it if you don't know you can get there. And then it's tough to come in and dive for it when the infielder's going back full speed as well.
Pop up shallow left field. That's going to fall for a base hit.
All right, that's not a bad plan of attack.
Well, the outfield plays very deep. And Rangers taking advantage of it with Cruz and now Murphy.
The Rangers have had men on base. They had the bases loaded in the 4th inning. They had the first 2 men on in the 5th inning. Couldn't score. Now they've got a couple of bloopers and 2 men on in the 6th. Just got to get that base hit. Be nice. A home run be even better.
Yeah. Say 2 bloops and a blast would work.
Yeah. Just get right back in the game.
Murphy at first, Cruz at second now with 1 out. Chris McGinnis has flied to right and struck out today. And we're just now getting some action beginning out in the Blue Jays bullpen in left center as McGinnis takes a strike. The right-hander hard-throwing Neil Wagner up and loosening. Dickey back to McGinnis. Base hit to right field. Cruz being held up at third as Bautista gets the ball back in quickly. No, Chris McGinnis gets a base hit to right. The Rangers have loaded the bases, and all of a sudden, we've got the tying run coming to the plate in the Sonic Slam inning.
Yeah, good swing by Chris. He hit that ball hard, found the hole. Hit it hard enough to where there was no way down by 4 runs you could take a chance on scoring the runner. Bautista knew the runner wasn't going to try to score. He just got it in quickly. If that runner was trying to score, Bautista's got a strong arm and probably would have been able to throw him out.
Well, Leonis Martin fouling off the first pitch. Martin now with the bases full in our Sonic Slam inning. And Floyd McCurdy. Floyd, I hope you're sitting down.
Yeah, we need this one, Floyd.
Yeah. I don't want you to get too excited when Leonis Martin wins you $25,000 right here. Popped up, foul territory. That will reach the seats about 3 rows behind the Toronto dugout. And it moves the count to 0-2. Martin 2 for 2 off of Dickey. Had an infield single in the third. Smacked the single to right his last time up. Well, Leonis hitting at .262. He's got Cruz at third, Murphy at second, McGinnis at first. The 0-2 pitch. Ground ball to second. The return to first, not in time. In to score is Cruz, and the Rangers have gotten on the board. Martin able to leg out the back end of that double play attempt to prevent the final out of the inning, but he gets the RBI. Cruz scores. It's now a 4-1 Toronto lead, and the Rangers off the snide.
Yeah, fortunately, it was Martin that hit the ball because they turned it quickly. It wasn't a simple ball to turn because it wasn't a hard hit ball, but with Martin running, the Rangers were able to get a run.
Well, Martin with his 11th RBI of the year, and John Gibbons out to the mound talking with R.A. Dickey, and he takes the ball from the 38-year-old right-hander. That's going to do it as he wants Neil Wagner to come on with runners at the corners and 2 outs here in the 6th inning. No pitching change underway. We'll take a timeout. It's the Blue Jays 4, the Rangers 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Turns as Robinson Cano and the Yankees head west to take on Mike Trout and the Angels. Or we see Alex Rios and the White Sox battle the Astros down in Houston. Baseball night in America begins tonight at 6 p.m. Central. Well, the Rangers wouldn't let R.A. Dickey finish the 6th inning. He is gone after 5 2/3, and the hard-throwing right-hander Neil Wagner on in his place.
R.A. Dickey had thrown 107 pitches, and it was probably a good time to take him out of the game. He and Kinsler had a lot of good swings against Dickey. He pulled some balls hard, foul down the left field line. And so with the pitch count and with the batter, probably a good opportunity to change pitches.
And Ian Kinsler takes ball one low and away. Kinsler 0 for 2 with a walk. He is grounded out, flied out. Walk got as far as second base in the 5th inning. As runners at the corners, 1-0 pitch. Popped in the air to center field. Rasmus coming on this one, hangs up for the center fielder. He makes the grab, and that'll do it. But the Rangers do get on the board. They get a run on 3 hits and strand 2. We're going to the 7th. Toronto 4, Texas 1. Daughter saying, proclaiming her father's #1 dad cameraman. I'll buy that. Vic Sosa, of course, runs one of our center field cameras out there. Happy Father's Day. There's Vic in his Hawaiian vest. Nice to see you, sir. And a happy early Father's Day to you from your daughter. We're happy to pass that along. Our 4th game summary looks like this. The Blue Jays, with a pair of 2-run home runs, have a 4-1 lead. Both Lynn and Rasmus going yard with a runner aboard. R.A. Dickey, meanwhile, 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, and 1 run, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Josh Lindblom, his counterpart, is finished for the afternoon, and Robbie Ross is on to take over here in the 7th inning.
Well, again, it's the kind of start that doesn't look great. 6 innings, 4 runs, but it's only 5 hits, and all 4 runs came on 2 2-run homers. And for the most part, Josh threw the ball pretty well. Didn't walk a batter, struck out a couple. And Robbie continues to see his numbers go down with almost every outing. 148 with his ERA. 30 innings, no home runs.
0-2, Colby Rasmus, who fouls it down the left side and well back into the seats, out of play. Rasmus 1 for 2 with that 2-run home run back in the 4th inning. First time up, tapped right back to the mound to end the 1st inning. 1-2 as Ross misses upstairs. Robbie hasn't worked in 3 days. Last time was against the Tribe. And this is low and in. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Ross set. And misses inside again. It's 3-2. Well, Robbie's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. And Rasmus leading off the 7th inning, trying to get aboard in front of Mycer Asturias. Payoff pitch on the way. Left center field. Leonis Martin has to backpedal a couple of steps. That is out number one. Mister is coming up with the bases empty. The folks fans attending the game on the 29th of June against the Cincinnati Reds will be treated to a post-game concert by Casey Donahue Band. It's presented by Budweiser. Tickets to the game start at just $13, and for an additional $10, you can purchase a pass to watch the concert from the field. Tickets and field passes are available at TexasRangers.com/concerts. Thuris, the switch hitter, now turning around to hit from the right side against the lefty Robbie Ross. Slow tapper that Ross bounces off the mound, gathers in, and fires the first. 2 gone. So Thuris back to the dugout, 0 for 3 today. And now Josh Thole.
We talked about the Toronto lineup without Reyes in it. You get to the bottom of the lineup, the bottom 4 guys, the highest batting average is .221. But the top 4 guys, they can do some damage. We've pretty much seen that almost every time we play the Blue Jays. Someone in the middle of that lineup gets the job done. It's usually a big hit with men in scoring position. We've seen Encarnacion break up a close game with a double in the gap to drive in a couple of runs. Obviously, we've seen Lind hit a couple of big home runs at the wrong time. Rasmus a couple of times, home run today. Big hit. I think he had that triple in Toronto where he scored on Profar's throwing error. And Cabrera's had hits too. So if you can get through the first 4 guys in the lineup, we got a little bit of a break for an inning in a third or 2. Pitching through the top 4 in their lineup is a pretty tough thing to do right now.
Yeah. And then when you get Reyes back, it changes the whole dynamic of that thing.
Yeah.
You put Aaron Sebia back, and he's got some power down at the bottom of the order. There's a swing and a miss, and Thole is gone, and Robbie Ross has a 1-2-3 inning. Blue Jays gone. It's stretch time in Arlington. 4-1 Blue Jays. And please join us now as Chuck Morgan invites the crowd to honor America with God Bless America.
To honor the men and women of our armed services, both at home and around the world. Today, we invite you to join in singing God Bless America with American Idol finalist and Dallas-Fort Worth own Selena Ray.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Is brought to you by the all-new Mazda 6. When you change everything, you change everything. Now 4-1, the Blue Jays maintaining that 3-run advantage. Neil Wagner back to the hill, and he will face Elvis Andrus to start off the Rangers' 7th inning. Drops in a breaking ball. It is 0-1. Elvis today is struck out and twice grounded to his counterpart, Kawasaki, the shortstop. Pitch is a little bit low. 1-1. Rangers have out-hit the Blue Jays 7-5 here this afternoon, but they are down by 3 in the run column. A breaking ball to the outside corner. 1-2 now to Elvis. Neil Wagner appearing the first time in this series, but he got his first career victory against the Rangers in that series in Toronto last week. He also got his first career loss. In the span of 2 days, he visited both the penthouse and the basement. Young, hard-throwing right-hander. He comes set, the 1-2 pitch. Chop to the right side, Lynn. To the bag himself, that is out number 1. Lance Berkman coming up. And let's take a Mazda game break now. Here's Dana Larson. Thanks, Dana. Hate to hear that. Berkman fouls off the pitch. That is in Tampa Bay, of course, and that's the third player now we've had this year, the third pitcher hit by a line drive in the head. Berkman fouls off the next pitch. He's down in the count, 0-2.
Yeah, the one that comes to my mind was Brandon McCarthy last year. How scary that one was.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk in the offseason about developing a liner for the caps for pitchers to wear. Just haven't been able to figure it out yet. Berkman gone on strikes as Neil Wagner heating it up at 97 on the outside corner. That's his first strikeout. 2 away, and Adrian Beltre now steps up. Beltre 1 for 3 today. Had a 4th inning single. That was sandwiched in between a strikeout and a fly ball to right. Out of play to the right. It is 0-1. Beltre at 304 with the average. That's right where he began play this afternoon.
I'm not sure how Neil Wagner threw earlier in his career. He's 29 years old, but he's been with a number of teams. It's been fairly easy to acquire him. Signed as a minor league free agent. He was selected off waivers one time. Was in a trade another time. 21st round draft choice. Can't imagine with those kind of moves to acquire him over the years that back then he threw like he's throwing right now. Looks like a pretty solid guy out of your bullpen. Mid-90s, decent breaking ball.
A real live arm. Yeah. Throws 2 different kinds of fastballs, it looks like, and one's fairly straight or maybe cuts a little bit, and then 2-seam fastball that really works its way inside the right-handers. There's a looper into right field, and Beltre saying thank you very much. Here's a little serve for you to right. And Adrian with his second base hit of the afternoon. He is 2 for 4. Aboard with 2 outs for A.J. Pierzynski.
It's the second time in this homestand that Adrian has hit that type of a pitch. That pitch was almost unhittable. Breaking ball. It's not a strike. Down, outside. He reaches out. And based on where the pitch was, actually hit it pretty hard.
Yep. John Gibbons out, takes the ball from Neil Wagner. Wants the left-hander to come in. We'll take another break. 4-1 the score. Toronto on top on Fox Sports Southwest. devastator of left-handed hitters, is on for Toronto.
Yeah, pretty nice numbers for Cecil. Just one more solid guy coming out of their bullpen. Pitched 34 innings, struck out 39. He's only walked 9, 148 opponent's batting average. Starting pitcher earlier in his career, now pitching out of the bullpen. Pitched a game or two very nice games against the Rangers as a starting pitcher.
A.J. Pierzynski has his hands full. Cecil has allowed a total of 7 base hits by left-handed hitters in 62 at-bats this year. The first pitch to A.J. is inside for ball 1. Pierzynski 1 out of 3 today, had a single in the 4th inning. He's got Beltre at first, 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Rangers trailing by 3. Chopper right at the bag, and Lynn fields it, steps on first, and that will do it. Pierzynski taps out. Rangers are gone. They strand a runner. To the 8th we go. 4-1 Toronto. We will give you the answer to our AT&T Twitter poll question. Actually, we'll give you the results. Question, you remember, is are you playing in a baseball or softball league this summer? And 60% of you said, yep, sure am. 40% said, no, not quite yet. May later on. As soon as it warms up, feel more like playing a little baseball or softball. Emilio Bonifacio will start things off here in the 8th inning. Toronto on top, 4-1. Robbie Ross had a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. Now Bonifacio trying to butt his way aboard. And it's foul behind the screen and back into the seats. Our Ford leaderboard this afternoon will give you a statistic that applies to this situation this afternoon. We'll give it to you after the pitch with Bonifacio up there. Ground ball to third. Beltre across the diamond. And Bonifacio is retired, 1 away. And Munenori Kawasaki coming up. That Ford leaderboard we were talking about applying to today's game. The American League team leaders when leading after 7 innings. Best record, the Toronto Blue Jays. 22-0 this year. They have not given up a loss to a lead that they've had in the 7th inning. Rangers, you see, just one loss this year. And Toronto leading after 7 in this ballgame, 4-1. Kawasaki fouls off the next pitch. He's down in the count now, 0-2. Kawasaki 1 for 2, has that average up to 222 for the year. Hit a soft single into center field his last time up. Trying to slap the ball the other way. He's got a whole lot of energy, doesn't he?
That ball was by him, boy, but somehow he got a piece of it.
Kawasaki spent a couple of years with the Mariners. Never was able to crack their lineup. Didn't really fit into their plans up there.
And kind of there to be a friend of Ichiro's, it looked like.
Yeah, sure did. Ross again with the 0-2. 1-2.
So he tries to imitate Ichiro a little bit, his style of hitting.
Ross back to the plate. Just missed the inside corner. He had Kawasaki backing out. And Paul Schreiber not throwing up that right fist. Well, the count's even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, bases empty in the 8th inning. Rangers on the short end of a 4-1 score. Another foul shot off to the left side. Kawasaki, you mentioned, had that triple in yesterday's ball game. Showed pretty good power, hit it in the alley all the way to the wall out there in right center field. Takes the next pitch high. The count has gone 3-2. Kawasaki trying to get aboard again against the Rangers. Yoki Cabrera waits on the on-deck circle. As Robbie Ross comes set. Payoff pitch on the way. Pesky type hitter. And a pesky type hitter too.
He yelled after he fouled that ball off like he thought he should have hit it. Better swing a little bit sooner if you want to put that ball in play.
Another 3-2. So far, he may be trying to hit like Ichiro. The only thing I notice is similar is he's left-handed.
Well, he's hitting like Ichiro hits now.
Oh, okay.
Not like Ichiro hit then.
The 10th pitch of the at-bat coming. And ball 4. The appeal down to third, no swing, but A.J. Pierzynski convinced that it was the 3rd strike. Robbie Ross, though, gives up the walk to Kawasaki.
Yeah, it's borderline pitch. Kawasaki earned that walk, though. He fouled off 5 or 6 pitches to hang in there.
Now 1 on, 1 out. Yoki Cabrera, also the switch hitter. He bats from the right side, and now time called. Cabrera backing out. 1 on, 1 out. Cabrera 0 for 3. Grounded into a double play last time up. Takes a strike at the knees. Cabrera now 0 for his last 9 in this series against the Rangers. That's out of play down the right side as that ball twists back into the seats about halfway back in the lower seating bowl. No balls and 2 strikes. Blue Jays 4 runs on just 5 hits today. The Rangers 1 run on 8 hits. Robbie Ross bluffing a throw to first. That had Kawasaki diving back. Left-hander's ready. Now he makes the throw this time. And Kawasaki is back again. Ross agrees to the sign. The 0-2. Little pop-up foul territory. That's going to be out of the reach of Chris McGinnis, who was over there right at the railing. Take a look. The ball just not hit high enough in the air for him to get over there. Crowd of just over 33,000 on hand at this Saturday afternoon game. The 0-2 pitch. And another foul ball to the right. Robbie had a 10-pitch at bat to Kawasaki. He's being pestered by Cabrera in the next at bat.
Yeah, he was on his way to a 2-inning outing in about 24 or 25 pitches, but these long at bats have stretched it a little bit.
To right center field, Nelly Cruz moving over toward the alley, calls off the center fielder Martin, and that's out number 2. With Jose Bautista coming up, let's go to Jim Knox again. Jim?
All right, Buzz, real quick time for the progressive fan of the game. It has to be Gina, bachelorette party. She brings all her good friends to a Ranger game. You could have gone anywhere, Chuck E. Cheese, any of those great places, but yet the Ranger game. Why that, Gina?
There's no other better place to be than a Rangers game.
All right, and your husband, when do you get married?
July 5th.
All right, anything you'd like to say to the hubby, future husband?
Looking for you, Dale. I love you. I love you, and I'm ready for the future.
Very nice. Here's the bag. Congratulations. The Cerritos Rangers on to victory. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Buzz?
Nice going, Knoxie. Well, a pitching change underway. Jason Frazier, the right-hander, coming on in. We'll take a timeout. Be right back to tell you about him. 4-1, Toronto. Chevron would like to inform you about tomorrow's starters. It'll be Chen-Ming Wang, who is making his first major league start this year against Derek Holland. Wang at 4-4 at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the AAA affiliate of the New York Yankees. Derek Holland comes in at 5-3 with that 3.11 ERA. Had a rough outing last time trying to rebound from that. Wang and Holland tomorrow. It's a 2 o'clock start here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Well, Jason Frazier has his ERA below 3 now. It's been a steady drop down to that point at 2.95. He pitched for the Blue Jays for 7 or 8 years. Did a solid job for him, too. Yeah, he's doing a solid job for the Rangers now.
Yeah, and he's gotten his fastball back, which is very pleasing for him. It's kind of like having an old friend back around. Toss to first base, and that'll make Kawasaki dive back in. Jose Bautista is the hitter. 1 for 3 today. Had a single, scored a run back in the first inning. Frazier comes set, a check of Kawasaki. And Bautista promptly bangs one into center field, a base hit. Kawasaki will stop at second as Leonis Martin up with it quickly. Well, Bautista reached Frazier, his former teammate, with that base hit to center. 6th hit of the afternoon for Toronto, and Edwin Encarnacion will come up. And have a pinch runner for Bautista. Looks like Rajai Davis will come on. So he takes over at first base. Davis has been coming into games defensively late in Toronto leads. So he will take over here in the 8th inning and play defensively as well. A 2 on, 2 outs. Encarnacion 0 for 3 today. A ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout. Breaking ball just a bit outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Encarnacion, the Toronto team leader with those 55 RBI and the 18 home runs. 18 home runs, good for third in the American League. A rip and a chopper foul into the third base dugout occupied by the Blue Jays. It's 1-1. Encarnacion also third in the American League in RBI. Miguel Cabrera, a big lead in that category. 69 RBI entering play today for Cabrera. And Chris Davis second with 57. And then Encarnacion. The 1-1 called strike to the inside corner. There's that good fastball at 93.
It looked like an excellent pitcher's pitch, which it was. Encarnacion hit 42 home runs, knocked in 110 runs. That's more home runs and RBIs than he had in the 2 previous years put together. That was really a breakthrough year for him last year.
In the dirt, and a nice stop by A.J. Przinsky. That evens out the count now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Encarnacion. Like that split-fingered fastball that Jason Frazier relies on.
People probably have forgotten about Encarnacion. He was actually drafted by the Rangers way back in 2000, traded almost immediately in a trade where the Rangers got Rob Bell. Rob never developed into the starting pitcher that the Rangers hoped he would. Encarnacion didn't develop right away, but he's definitely developed later on in his career. One of the better power hitters in the league right now.
Kind of a similar path that Bautista took. Nobody heard much of Bautista for the first 7 or 8 years of his career. Had a good last half of the season in Philadelphia a few years ago, and then all of a sudden, Blue Jays got him and he went crazy.
Bautista hit 54 home runs in 2010. That's almost as many home runs as he had in his whole career.
Got him swinging. Good breaking ball, and Frazier gets the strikeout. That'll do it for the Blue Jays. No runs a hit. They strand 2 after 7.5. Toronto 4, Texas 1. Fox Sports Southwest. Face Nelson Cruz, David Murphy, and Chris McGinnis as the first 3 hitters. Due up here in the 8th. Rangers trailing by a trio of runs. And we need to get some base runners aboard against Cecil. Cecil came on and retired A.J. Przinsky with Beltre aboard in the 7th inning. That finished the Rangers' 7th. Now Nelly Cruz will come up. Cruz singled his last time up. That was in the 6th. He scored what so far is the only run for the Rangers. He has some defensive changes we'll get to you in just a second. Nelly, a rip and a miss. Cruz hitting at 263. Off speed, low and inside. Cecil sets. And the pitch is popped foul. That goes back into the seats. Defensively for the Blue Jays now. And Rajai Davis stay in the ball game, as we mentioned, and taking over in right field. He's your new right fielder. There's Rajai out there. And some new alignments on the infield to get that in just a second. Hard hit ball. DeRosa, the new third baseman, hit Nelly clean. Backhand job that DeRosa comes up with and throws out Cruz, and Nelly a hard out to start this 8th inning. With David Murphy coming up. Time to take a break, go over to Dana Larson and see what's coming up on the Insurance Postgame Show.
Yes, Buzz, as always, we do have the postgame show coming up right after the game. And as always, Mark McLemore will be sitting here next to me providing the expert analysis. We'll have Ron Washington's postgame comments, players' reaction from the clubhouse as well, and set up tomorrow's Father's Day finale with Derek Holland on the mound. All of that and much more coming up. Rangers Live, presented by Esurance after the game. Buzz.
All right, Dana, thank you very much. Well, one out after a rocket that was flagged down by the new third baseman, Mark DeRosa. And first ball swinging, a fair ball, and running to the bag quickly, just in time. Adam Lind was looking for Cecil to underhand it to, and Brett Cecil was a spectator. And Lind was forced to race David Murphy for the bag and just did beat him.
Yeah, when Lynn looks up, he's pretty much expecting to see someone to toss it to. He wasn't expecting to have to sprint to the bag, but there's a look at it, and he just did beat David. Close play.
So 2 outs now, bases empty. Chris McGinnis, who singled his last trip, faces Brett Cecil, takes inside for ball 1. McGinnis, a base hit to right in the 6th inning. He is also struck out and flied to right field. Cecil drops that slow breaking ball in there to even the count at 1-1. Cecil working from the extreme third base side of the pitching rubber. Hits the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes. I mentioned Cecil really tough on left-handers, and he has faced now 3 left-handers today. He retired Przinsky and Murphy on ground balls to first, and he's got a 1-2 advantage to Chris McGinnis. Got him swinging. Doley recovers the ball in the dirt, throws to first. That'll do it. Rangers gone in order in the 8th inning. We're going to inning number 9. Blue Jays leading 4-1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Reverse replay. And back in the lineup for the first time in a month, Ian Kinsler. Making a couple of patented Ian Kinsler plays. And starting a great double play with Elvis Andrews. Well, great to have Ian back. The magician with the glove around second base. And let's see if we can get Kinsler's presence to lead to a ninth inning comeback for the Rangers. They trail 4-1. And Adam Lind to start things off in the top of the ninth inning against Jason Frazier. Frazier came on to give up a base hit to Bautista and then struck out Encarnacion to end the eighth inning. Now misses high and away with the first pitch to Adam Lind. Lind 2 for 3 this afternoon. Had a 2-run home run in the first inning that got the Blue Jays off on the right foot. Then he singled to center in the fourth inning, came around to score on Colby Rasmus' 2-run home run. Ball 2 is low. Blue Jays with a 3-game winning streak. Have won 7 out of their last 10, and the month of June has been kind to them. They have played much better baseball. They struggled through May. The fastball strike. Looks like they're getting the pieces together in the proper order to climb out of the cellar in the American League East.
You can see them playing better based on the talent that they've got. The problem is the hole that they've dug. They're behind 4 pretty good teams. It'd be very tough for them to get back into contention. But pretty easy to see how they could play a lot better than they did early in the season.
John Gibbons' club, 9.5 games back of Boston to begin play this afternoon, and they are 6 games under 500 at 30-36. 2-2, the count to Lind. Number foul. And we'll show you those American League East standings. Yeah, Baltimore just a game and a half back. New York 3 back, and of course Tampa Bay 5 back. And then Toronto. So Toronto's got a lot of work to do in the next 4 months.
Just every time they play an East Division rival, those games get more and more important. You have to make up ground every time you play, because every team you play is ahead of you.
Yeah. And it really doesn't help the cause in Toronto, for the fans anyway, that there were so many high expectations in the offseason. This ball club, they talked about rebuilding it and retooling, and shot down to third. Adrian Beltre across the diamond. That is out number 1 as Lind is retired. 1 gone. Colby Rasmus coming up. But the big trade that they made with Miami in the offseason, of course, thought they were going to restock their pitching staff specifically with that. But Burley and Josh Johnson. Johnson was up and down. Burley has been as consistent as always, but it has not translated into runs because the club wasn't playing that well for the better part of 6 weeks. 1 ball and no strikes to Rasmus. And then not having Reyes in the lineup, I think, really has made a huge difference for Toronto's offense. Reyes, the multi-talented spark plug, if you will. It's right at the top of the order. He has great speed. And they've been missing him since the 12th of April.
It'll be interesting to see what they do, whether they keep all those guys and continue to try to win next year. They certainly increase their payroll a lot, or will they try to bail out on a couple of them and get a little younger, get a little cheaper? Or do they stay the course with the guys that they traded for?
Ball 3 is high. 3-0 now, the count to Colby Rasmus. Bases empty, 1 away in the top of the 9th inning. Rasmus 1 for 3. That 2-run home run came back in the 4th inning. Got the green light on 3-0 and fouled it back. Rasmus originally came up with the Cardinals and kind of fell out of favor over there. He had some decidedly different points of view on training and specifically hitting. Cardinals didn't necessarily agree with what he was preaching, so they shipped him off to the Toronto Blue Jays. There's a walk with one out, and it'll bring up Meiser Asturias. Second walk issued by Ranger pitching this afternoon. Josh Lindblom with the first 6 innings and did not walk anybody. Gave up 4 runs on 5 hits. Robbie Ross had a walk in his inning and 2/3, and now Jason Frazier has issued a walk. Asturias is 0 for 3. Is flied out twice and grounded back to the pitcher. Frazier sets. And the pitch is inside to Asturias. 1 ball and no strikes. .217 the average for a guy one of the Toronto Blue Jays thought was going to be an answer to a big question mark, a utility, even an everyday type infielder. Ross Wolf getting ready to come in if needed out in the Ranger bullpen. Meiser Asturias, of course, last year with the Angels, big part of their ball club, and as a utility man. Blue Jays signed him to a multi-year contract. Raised some eyebrows, but Blue Jays thought he was going to really help him out. There goes Rasmus up the middle. The base hit to center field, so Rasmus keeps right on going. He motors around to third. And the slap shot up the middle by Asturias puts runners at the corners and 1 out for Josh Thole.
Yeah, with Rasmus running, the infielders waited as long as they could for someone to cover second base, which works in your favor sometimes if the ball's hit to where the spot you're going to vacate. That time you were hoping Ian would break a little bit sooner. He might have been in position to catch that ball. But you break soon, you just create a huge hole for the hitter to shoot at. That time it just didn't work out.
Mike Maddox out to talk to Josh Frazier. Giving up a walk and a base hit to center. First and third with 1 out. Josh Thole. And AT&T reminds you that tomorrow, 2 o'clock on Fox Sports Southwest, we'll be right back here at the Rangers ballpark. The conclusion of this 4-game series. Chen-Ming Wang and Derek Holland are the principals. 2 o'clock on Fox Sports Southwest and 1:30 for Rangers Live. Conference concluded. Jason Frazier getting set to work to Thole, who is 0 for 3. Thole struck out his last time up. That was against Robbie Ross. Up there now with Rasmus at third, Asturias at first. Rangers playing the infield back with 1 out. They're looking for the double play. Foul straight back and out of play. It's 0-1. Good look at the Rangers defensive lineman. Outfield shading well around to the left side for the left-handed hitting Thole. Frazier okays the sign. The right-hander's ready. Line drive left field. Murphy in a hurry. Can't get there. Has to play it on a hop. In to score is Rasmus. And Thole going the other way with the RBI single makes it a 5-1 Toronto lead. And here comes the skipper, Ron Washington. So Frazier, the walk to Rasmus, then the slap shot single on the hit and run. And Josh Thole made him pay.
Yeah, David wanted to dive for this ball, but he just wasn't able to get to it. Couldn't get close enough, was able to block it. But even if he caught that ball going towards center field, it was going to be a sacrifice fly.
Well, that's going to do it for Jason Frazier. He is finished, and Ross Wolf is coming on from the Ranger bullpen. Timeout here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. 5-1 the score. We'll be right back. Texas Ford dealers. Come join the red, white, and U celebration. Enjoy great savings on America's best-selling brand. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. And by Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. Ross Wolf on, and Emilio Bonifacio goes after that first pitch, fouls it out of play. It is 0-1. The Wolf, with those numbers, has seen Toronto a lot this year. Longest outing that he had this year came a week ago today in that 18-inning affair. 6 2/3, took the loss against the Blue Jays. Ahead of Bonifacio here, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Bonifacio was one of those guys that came over from Florida. Talked about him a little bit earlier. He's not hitting much this year. He's only hitting .215, but he had a year where he hit .296 just a couple of years ago. Has good speed and definitely make things happen on the bases.
Wolf, a check of second, the 0-2 pitch. Ran it inside off the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. The Blue Jays had 2 in the first, 2 in the fourth. Both of those are results of 2-run home runs. And 1 more here in the 9th inning. A critical one so far. And Ross Wolf trying to shut the door, prevent any further damage. That ball's hit hard but pulled foul down the right side. And we'll try it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. Just 1 out here. Esturris, the runner at second. Josh Tolley at first. Esturris at the bottom of your screen getting his lead from second. Beltre has to go off his glove into left field, a base hit. Esturris around third will score. And the Blue Jays take a 6-1 lead on the error. Charge to Adrian Beltre is second in as many days.
Yeah, hard hit smash right at Adrian. If he catches it, they turn a double play. Ball went off his glove, but obviously didn't turn a double play. Run scores easily from second base. Kind of sliced it right at him. That's ball Adrian catches about 96 times out of 100. Just hit off the heel of his glove. And then snuck by him. Allowed that run to score.
Well, the Rangers committing their 36th error of the year. They have fallen down in the second half of the pack and fielding in the American League. There's a pitch just a little bit low to Munenori Kawasaki. Kawasaki 1 for 2. He has walked, singled, and grounded out. Tolley, the runner at second. Bonifacio at first. 2 runs across here in the 9th inning. Chopper foul. That runs the count even at 1-1. That's something we have not seen very often over the last 3 or 4 years. That's the crowd sensing defeat and leaving the ballpark early. Unless it was a late weekday or weeknight game with school in session, most of the time Ranger fans have stuck around to the end. And the way that things are going right now, Ranger fans are in kind of a malaise themselves. I don't think many people can believe what's happening.
The Rangers had that 2-4 road trip and looking very much forward to coming back for a long homestand, 11-game homestand. The Rangers have played great at home, pitched great, they've hit the ball great, but it just hasn't happened at home yet.
You get the force at second. That removes Bonifacio. Not hit hard enough to turn the double play. Sorry, Tom.
They won the last game in Toronto, came back, won the first game against Cleveland. But since that time, it's been tough going. Just not able to put anything together offensively.
Now with Mark DeRosa, the hitter, Mike Maddox going out to the mound to talk to his battery. No, and it looked like, I think fans were looking at, the Cleveland Indians not playing very well. Got a chance to take 3 maybe, certainly 2 out of 3. Same thing with Toronto. Toronto's playing better, I think, than most people give them credit this month. Cleveland started to swing the bats effectively the last couple of games in here. They got some key base hits, and meantime, the Ranger offense just shut down.
And when you're not scoring any runs, it doesn't matter how well anything else is going. You can't win without runs.
Yeah, no, you're right. First pitch to DeRosa is a bit low. Former Ranger hitting at .235. Super utility guy for Toronto. 4 home runs, 21 RBI. Gets a lot of work coming off the bench as a pinch hitter also.
You want to give the other pitcher all the credit that he deserves.
To right field, Cruz on his horse into the corner. And Nelly tracks it down. Nice play by Nelson Cruz. That does it in the 9th for the Blue Jays. But they score 2 very big runs, a couple of hits and an error. Bottom of the 9th, 6-1 Toronto. Bottom of the 9th inning. And coming out of the bullpen, the big right-hander Dustin McGowan will take over.
Well, another hard-throwing guy out in the Blue Jays bullpen. He was a highly touted prospect. Looked like he was just beginning to start a career as a very successful starting pitcher, but he's just been plagued by injuries over the years, in the last few years. Trying to come back as a relief pitcher, middle to late inning relief pitcher. He certainly got the arm to accomplish that. Don't know whether they'll try to get him back in the rotation or not, but right now, throwing the ball really well out of the bullpen.
So McGowan will work to Leonis Martin to start off the 9th inning. Martin 2 for 3 today. A couple of singles. Had an RBI on a fielder's choice ground out in the 6th inning, accounting for the only Ranger run this afternoon. The first pitch darts inside. 1 ball and no strikes. The hits are even at 8 today. Rangers, however, have been outscored 6-1 by Toronto. McGowan's next pitch. That is a strike to the inside corner. Rangers have left 10 men aboard this afternoon, so it's not like they haven't been able to get anybody on base. They have, and again, just haven't been able to get that big base hit. Down the left field line, that's a fair ball. It's headed to the corner. Bonifacio going in to dig it out into second with a leadoff double. Leonis Martin gets his 3rd hit of the day.
Nice job of hitting, driving that ball down the left field line like that. Now, Buzz, I was saying at the end of the last inning, you want to give the opposing pitchers the credit they deserve. And certainly R.A. Dickey threw the ball well today. But, you know, the fact is he came into the game with an ERA over 5. He'd given up at least 6 runs in 3 out of his last 4 starts. And no matter how he throws the ball today, if your offense is performing at all, you got to do more than what they did against him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they had some opportunities, couldn't take advantage of them. And the same with Mark Burley. Mark Burley is a solid pitcher. There's no doubt about that. And he's tough on the Rangers. But his ERA was over 5 too. He's been pitching better than he was earlier in the season lately. But 1 run in 14 innings is just not going to get the job done.
Kinsler, a shot to third. DeRosa checks Martin back to second. Fires across the diamond. Kinsler's retired. 1 gone for Elvis Andrus. No, you're right, Tom, and I think that's where the crux of the problem has lain with the Rangers in the last 3 weeks, in the month of June anyway, where the offense has been so inconsistent that it really wouldn't have mattered who was pitching.
That's right.
I mean, it was a different problem each night as far as different kinds of pitchers, but the outcome was the same. Just a real tough time scoring runs. Elvis takes a strike.
And we've seen times when the Rangers at their best can get shut down. You know, Oakland has done it to the Rangers before with their young pitchers. And, you know, most of the times when you watch those pitchers and the way they're throwing, you can see it. But in the month of June, there's been a lot of pitchers that have had success against the Rangers who, when you're watching it, it just doesn't add up to a low-scoring game. The Rangers, I think, have been helping them out by they're just not being consistent offensively, not swinging the bats the way they can. And they haven't had their lineup the way they'd like to have it. But with or without their key guys, they still should be swinging the bats better than they are.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing I mentioned yesterday, and I'll mention it again today, if the Rangers don't get 2 more hits in this game, they will have had their 14th straight game of 10 hits or less.
Yeah.
And for this team, that
usually
really is a problem.
Usually we're talking about how many games in a row they've had 10 or more hits, not the fact that they haven't been able to get 10 hits.
That and coming home, you would expect this ball club to flourish in this ballpark. They always have, or for the most part.
Yeah.
And they've been limited to 2 runs or less in the last 5 games here. That pitch low and outside. The count now to Elvis is full. So Andrews trying to get aboard to join Leonis Martin. Lance Berkman is going to follow. Tolley flashed the signs out. McGowan ready. The payoff pitch on the way. Nice play by Kawasaki to glove that Andrews hot shot. Well, that is out number 2, and Elvis kind of letting his head hang a little bit after that, and no doubt you can feel sympathy for him.
Kawasaki got that right in the tip of his glove. That the exact amount of range it took to make that play.
Blue Jays have had 4 or 5 very, very solid defensive plays, bordering on very good, outstanding defensive plays. Here's Berkman. Fouls back the first pitch. Lance walked in the first inning. Since then, he has flied out, grounded out, and struck out. And not to belabor the point, but just to give you something in context as far as the offensive futility in the month of June. Coming into play today, Rangers have scored 36 runs in the month of June. That was second fewest in the major leagues.
Yeah, that's just
and we're halfway through the month.
Not something you hear about the Rangers.
No. Not when you have half those games in this ballpark. Team averaging 2.77 runs per game, which was tied with the Astros for the lowest average in Major League Baseball. 1-1. Pitch on the way. Berkman checks his swing. He did not go. And the count goes to 2-1. Eric Cooper making the call down there at third base. Now Berkman trying to pick up Leonis Martin at second. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Rangers down by 5. And it's popped up. Shallow center field. Historis going out. Rasmus coming on. And the center fielder makes the call and the catch. And that will do it. So the Rangers go down to their 5th consecutive defeat. This afternoon it was a 6-1 Toronto win here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. And with 2 home runs hit today, in today's game, a total of $25,000 was raised for prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can go online to homerunchallenge.org. 6-1 the final as Josh Lindblom loses his 2nd ball game. R.A. Dickey gets the win here this afternoon. Rangers will look to snap a 5-game losing streak in tomorrow afternoon's game. Dana Larson, Mark McLemore will be back to wrap things up from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.